Well, you know what? Yesterday, game one, we had a phase-on circle. Well, actually, all the circles went on military base and military islands. So this time we're going to be having a military playing path. It's going to be very down south. The teams that like to go up north, and I know a few of them. One team that's not going to be happy, that's going to be Udu. They like to go towards Severny. This is not their playing path to take.
But it's a matter of adapting, right? You know, you either have a second plane path or you know exactly where the vehicles are. You grab those vehicles and you move your way up to Severny. Of course, we don't know where the phase one circle is going to be. If it does once again go to Military Island, at least it will complement the plane path and plane trajectory. Of course, like the analyst mentioned on the desk, you do have the fact that we do not have Team IND, Valdis, RRQ, and TSMNT playing. So T1 will have Rosok all to themselves.
Hippity hoppity, your compound is now my property. They're going to take all of Rosok for themselves. Can already see that T1, they're currently going in that current location. But otherwise, most drops are going to be okay. Of course, Nova is going to be under the hold of Megastars. They're going to have that all for themselves. As you see the phase one circle pop on our screens, and it's going to be pretty northern, but still quite a nice central position still available. Will allow quite a few rotations to come on through in the circle.
In the early parts of the game, I think the biggest bone of contention right now with this phase one circle is the river, right? Right now, we don't necessarily know if it's going to be north or south, but now as GXR Celts moving on up in Milta, get an early knock onto U level up.
You level up, Hyugjan already going to be knocked away. They are very spread, but that's also the case for the opposing side, really. So these two teams are not quite ready to take this team fight. If they can try and regroup and maybe try and loot up a little bit longer, they would have a little bit of a better chance to take this fight, because let's not forget, this is Celts taking a fight. One of the top kills in the entire day yesterday. They're a team you don't want to mess with. They're going to take down every single one of your members. They want those 4 kill points.
And honestly, I'm very impressed by how well GXR Celts have been able to evolve and develop from the PMPL in South Asia. They've looked to be a lot more dangerous, a lot more reactive as well, and even proactive on those engagements to really clear out those kills. And we've seen it even in the early parts of this game. Now, one thing to consider is the fact that to the right of them in Milta Power is Morph, and to the left of them in Farm is BTR. And BTR, they're not afraid to take an opportunity to third party should they need to.
I think that like BTR and afraid in the same sentence doesn't really work. I think that's something that like it's a grammatical error at that point because it's such an impact. But here it is, still sticking around Milta, not going to have too much action coming around. If we're going to be talking about the circle a little bit and checking out what's happening on the map. Also, do you have a map stream available, which is the first time this season? Can go check it out. Actually, check out the official YouTube channel. We've got that information over there. But a lot of teams going to be pretty central. You've got Nova Godlight, you've got Orange Rock, you've got also King of Gamers Club, and of course T1. They do get, of course, you know, confirmed the era of Rosok under control.
You do have made their way up to Severny, so they've decided to go for those vehicles. Honestly, it does complement that phase one circle, right? Because it is quite high up and towards the north, and they'll be able to, after looting, they'll be able to shift their way down south. Now, of course, the time they spent rotating to Severny is time wasted on looting, so they'll have to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, indeed. But after they are in the circle too, so that means like hopefully phase 2 circle won't have too much of an influence on them. And we'll be keeping an eye out for that. But very passive early game. And you know what? We were expecting that going into this, right? Because if you have the research, the VOD review from yesterday, that's been done by most of these teams, these players, these coaches, these managers, getting them a lot more intel that they gathered. And now they know, oh, this team drops here, we're going to go elsewhere. We're going to go maybe for our secondary or third drop in location, which explains why there's no bloodshed on this one, which I personally am a big fan of, because that means better mid to late game stage.
Exactly. Like I said to Kyleris at the start, right, you know, I definitely feel it's a matter of what I'm looking for is those teams that were consistent yesterday. I want to see that consistency continue, and the teams that did badly, most notably in this game, Team Secret, to have that redemption game, have that redemption day, and rise back up on the standings.
I mean, not only them, you also got some a lot of squads are going to have to try and redeem themselves today. Hopefully that will be the case, because we got ourselves also a TSM entity. You know, they're not in this lobby here, but they did not have the best start yesterday, so I'm hoping that where they do get to play, they need some great performances today. This is their redeeming day.
So we do see Orange Rock. They are now starting to rotate and make their way up to the bridge past Watertown. Watertown, I'm definitely not a fan of it, right?
I know you never liked
that
it,
area, but when you hold onto the edge, they're being very strategic with their placement. We saw a very impressive day from them, especially in the first couple of games, and their third overall in the standings, getting a 25-point game and a 32-point game. So it's a matter of them now playing to their strengths. They do have Scout, a great addition to the team. I was a little bit worried about what he might bring, but I definitely think he's brought a whole lot of positive experience and gameplay.
And Gil too. Like Gil, especially that Sanhok game. Like that was absolutely mental. I'd recommend you guys go check out the VODs of yesterday because for an opening day, that was some of the most intense action I've ever seen in PUBG Mobile competitive. That is absolutely mental. He's panning over now to No Chance to get themselves the compound a little bit higher up north of the plateau towards the western bridge. Gonna get that area under control. I like that area because it gives you a really good amount of visibility. It's good for the early stage.
I think it's good, but I feel like it could be a lot better because if you look like we have map perspective, right, they could easily shift up to the hill of Pachinki. Nobody went to Pachinki, which is a little bit surprising in some ways, but they could easily go more central to the circle and prepare and get a little bit more information. But at least for a start, I see where you're coming from.
Also, like No Chance, especially we saw that in the game of Miramar yesterday, they like to play very, very passive. So they like to play edge of circle. That's fine. That's their playstyle. As we switch on over, finally, this is what we wanted to see. We want to see Ralsaki. Wanted to see T1. As ZZP, always going to be, be in the lurkout, the scout onto school, gathering information of King of Gamers Club. As Megastars also moving away from Novo, they're going to go on the Eastern Bridge, but might have the first confrontation of this game so far as Bigatron, Red Aliens are going to be just around the corner.
I definitely think it was a very risky rotation coming out from Megastars because common sense tells you there's a lot more drop areas on the Eastern Bridge compared to the Western Bridge. There's far less viable areas to hold on to on the Western side. So rotating on the East, I feel like, is just going to put them under more potential pressure. Now, of course, because this is the southeastern side of the circle, I don't think it'll be too bad because teams will look to start to move forward. But you hear a vehicle, you see a body, you're going to go for the shots.
Ooh, they fight back. Encore will get shut down. Nice headshot from Zay4S. But they will not be able to get those finishing blows just yet. But at least you know what? Bigatron, they left the scene. The two Indonesian teams are holding on to that Eastern Bridge. And they are out, so Morph will have to take care of Megastars alone as a four-man team. JC's going to take quite a little bit of damage. Encore put back on his feet. And they're going to have to try and make their way out of that dip. I would have said, you know what, seeing what we had like moves yesterday on the first game of Wrangle, both would have been a valid option to rotate away from Novo, but no team's really thought about that just yet.
Here's the thing, they could use the dips. They could actually just take the coastline and basically go up on the far east side and rotate through, let's say, Mansion and come up via Yasnai Polyana. There's loads of space on the eastern edge where Megastars can move their way through, but as Morph, like you mentioned, they're just kind of avoiding the action after getting the initial knockdown. They make their way up into a more centralized location in the circle. Yeah,
just not really all that much worth it. They are currently in 9th position with an average of just about 8.5 points per game. So you know what, they've got to try and catch up a little bit to the top leaderboards right here. Still sitting there is not all that important, but still if they can try and get some good impact, that will be huge as you level up and Synergy. So you're going to be going, oh my god, you level up, they're just breaching it onto Servian, so he can absolutely battered and served on a silver platter. You level up, still got two players on their side. I'd say that that's going to be one remaining. It's going to be Jackson. How can he pull it off? It's going to be turned into a 1v3, and this might just be the end of you level up, Imperium.
Nice response coming out from Synergy. What was a little bit of a wake-up call for themselves. The Indian team will want to continue on in this game with all four members up. Jackson going for the grenade shot, does miss the target. That's going to be another one fired up. He will possibly alert Synergy to the location of Jackson.
Yeah, they're pushing forward. They're very close to each another. I would say try and spread yourself a little bit more thinly to create really many different angles of fire, so Jackson can't really respond in a nice, efficient way. But it seems like they're just not aware at all of where Jackson is. Despite him chucking a few utility earlier, he did absolutely nothing almost, and they just don't have the intel just yet, so Jackson might be able to just pull that big surprise factor, but Servi just got res back up.
One thing to point out just while there's a bit of a stalemate shot coming through, is that the Phase 2 circle did shift to the east, so these two teams, especially Synergy, are now more centralized in circle, so they need to close out this engagement sooner rather than later.
Okay, Strider going to be chucking another car there in the middle, refueling it. Just make sure they can go some long distances. Even though they're in a pretty decent position in the circle, they got high ground, they got information on all of Yasnai Polyana fields, which I always like to have under control. As now they're all going to put themselves in a decent position. We're sticking over here a long time, and Jackson, he has no intention of moving. He's going to avoid the fight. He's going to hope for Synergy to just leave the scene completely.
Then in other areas of the map, we have seen Team Morph get a couple of shots over into Box Gaming. They are fighting pretty much on Potato Hill, which is always a very risky part of the Erangel map to play around. It's vast, it's spread out. Of course, it's my favorite spot because it's Potato. So let's see who wins out on top of that. But Jackson, you know, just the calmness and the ability to not crouch up and try and get a shot and a couple of kills is really valuable. I like that from Jackson.
Team Secret, a team that's to redeem himself, taking a fight versus Mavi of Orange Rock. They are going for 2-2 split, so right now the man advantage not quite really in any team's favor. Mavi taking a pretty heavy hit, will have to go back down. But yeah, Team Secret, those two players on the mountainside, they're trying to stay close together, but Mavi seemed like he wants to get towards the car and get the hell out of that fight. And potentially going to be leaving one player behind, and that would be Scout. But Mavi, yeah, definitely not interested. But here it is. Viru and maybe even Gil would be interested to join the fight. They need to take this 4v2 to just overwhelm Team Secret.
Scout gonna get punished by a grenade, potentially shots coming through. Nice knockdown coming out from MX, and another knockdown once again onto Mavi. This is kills personified. Nice engagement by Team Secret.
Where is Gil? He had to join the party. Hey, there he is. Gil going to get one nice shutdown at the very end from a nice, pretty distant range into Watertown. But unfortunately, it was a little bit too late for him to join the party. Going for those rares would be absolutely suicide. So I would say, if you can, just cruise on by and leave the scene. But he's going for it. You know what? He's going to try and shut down the entirety of Team Secret. That is a very ballsy move. Will it be worth it, though? We'll have to wait and see, as here it is. He's over to the mountainside. The smoke is able to give quite a little bit of coverage over to Team Secret. Gets one. Nice shutdown through the smoke. Mad Toy's right behind it, but unfortunately he's not going to be peeking too much. Here it is, gets the information, goes for the spray, fights back, but still not quite able to get that second frag, and Ice Shots is going to try and seal the deal.
Nice grenade being cooked up. Will that connect? Will that be
yes.
Kobe?
Oh.
Yes, it will. Confirms a kill onto MX. Confirms the job done. MX did actually get healed up. My apologies. Let's see what Gil can keep on doing. I gotta give him so much credit. I was expecting him to disengage, but at the end of the day, this is just a seeding day. Right now's the time to push yourself and push your opponents.
Well, it's actually a pretty hard position to go for. Oh my god, wait, good full car push! Team Secret, what are you doing? Wait, iShot still got that. I have no idea that this just happened. That is absolutely mental. Taking a car like that in an open situation, it was easy for Gil.
Honestly, there was mistakes on both sides. When you're looking at Orange Rock, the biggest mistake they made, honestly, was Scout being too far away from his team, but then Gil made up for it. Good effort all the way, but Team Secret survived. Phase 3 shifting up north, Max. What did I say at the start of the game? The river is a huge bone of contention, and it seems like it's going north of it.
Yeah, and you know what? You do. They're taking already the gamble of going up north. If teams try to rotate up northern through the bridges that are around Rosrock, they would have a great point of pressure on these squads. The Megastars, they have to rotate through the eastern bridge. Well, the eastern bridge in the circle is going to be the west bridge over from Yasnaya Poliana, but they're going to be contested by Nova Godlike, trying to go over to the gas station, but Vampire there with M4 has a pretty good amount of information, does hit a few nice shots onto OAs, but unfortunately will not result in anything like a knock or even a kill.
Let's see if he can sink his teeth into the members of Megastars. As the rest of Nova Godlike looking to shoot their way through. We are going to see a replay on our screens as the action rages on in this game. So, you know, like when you really look at Nova Godlike, they're definitely protecting the eastern side. But the thing is, because they didn't really get any knockdowns or kills onto Megastars, they've now got the disadvantage on the eastern side of this circle.
Yeah, because they're going to have to rotate right through Megastars potentially. Even King of Gamers Club, they got a position up north on the western side, or on the eastern side of the area. Going to have a few teams going for some nice sneaky rotations. But Megastars still trying to make their way through the water. I don't know why Encore went through the water, but you know what? You can easily make it over to the coast and to the mainland. As there it is, Nova Godlike, we're seeing their angle currently on the east. Looking for a few teams. Still, King of Gamers Club, they still have yet to send all their players up north, but it's slowly making it one by one. And it's such a big range, really, they're not too much of a threat coming out from Nova Godlike.
Some really great sweeping rotations from Galaxy Racer, South, Synergy, and even Reject Scars on the west. So they've rotated really nicely. They've gotten themselves into a nice spot in the north of the river, out of sight, out of mind for now, as the Blue Zone is closing its way in on phase 3. 13 teams, 47 players, and this is where the passive early game has led to a little bit of a heat up coming into the mid and late stages of the game.
Indeed, we have a lot of squads still remaining, 13 squads to be completely exact, which is going to be nice coming into slowly but surely our phase 4. As we're going to be talking about actually Galaxy Racer Celts. They rotated through Yasnaya Poliana, very on the edge, avoiding detection, avoiding teams, because you know that teams are not going to stay in the city in the blue. That is something you see almost nobody do. And they're like, okay, you know what, we're going to use that to our advantage and sneakily make it very high up north in phase 3 circle.
Now, Rox is behind the rest of his team, but I think that's absolutely fine. Synergy are in between them. Synergy make them for their own rotation a little bit towards the north of them. So this is going to be pretty good coming out from both of these Indian teams, and it's going to put them in prominent position as the blue zone is closing in now. Of course, it would be a little bit of a kick in the face if the next phase did shift down south. But of course, they're playing the calculated game, and I absolutely love it from those two teams.
I mean, I would say it's about 60% chance it goes up north. We'll have to see if the circle's going to be popping up on our feeds not very, very soon. And Imperium is laughing as it seems like he's going, oh, you know what? I mean, we had a city finish yesterday in Northern Georgeport. We're going to have a Rozhok finish. I mean, it's T1's set territory. Will they get a chicken dinner from that?
That's a definition of a feels bad moment for Synergy Celts and even Megastars, but definitely Synergy Celts and Reject. But either way, with this shifting down south, we are seeing box gaming going on to the side of Team Morph, Max.
Yeah, Box trying to go for the high ground. They lost break, so they're remaining as a three-man team. But Morph back into the car, swiftly going to make it away from that position because they're not as a full squad. They want to make it back over to Frenzy in the distance. But he's taking a 5 versus T1 currently, and the crash is going to be happening from both sides. It will be turned into a 2v3. But Satan, Missile, still keeping information up north. They might want to try and get involved on this fight.
Possibly could be some third party coming through on top of the hill, but T1, they landed in Rozhok. They haven't had to move away, so now it's their time to shine as ZZP gets a knockdown onto No Mercy.
It is slowly but surely ZZP going for a lot of utility once again. The kill gets confirmed. One knock and a flush from that grenade. That's huge stonks from ZZP, and now they can fully commit and shut down the entirety of Morph. And as I say that, they have it. Morph get eliminated in 13th position by T1.
Really clean by T1. They used the grenades, used the utility. They knew where their targets were, and now they're going to be able to clean up, loot up, and gain even more control in the central part of the circle.
I mean, no, Rozhok is known as the T1 compound. You know what? They didn't pay rent. You're not allowed in. You get the hell out of here, boy. But now here it is, no chance, so you're going to be taking a fight also with Nova Godlike. They finally moved away from their plateau area on the east side of the circle. But they're going to get surrounded. They actually got positions absolutely everywhere, but Chokonus, he's going for a damn aggressive play right there and gets absolutely shut down along the way.
Yeah, although the member of Nova was low, he got the knockdown, but at the end of the day, with the teamwork coming through, the squad wipe comes out and Nova Godlike are out of here. Team No Chance will continue through as the fight between GXR, Celts and Synergy moves on. These two Indian teams rotated fantastically on the previous phase. Now they're on the north edge part of this circle. Gonna have to go across the river after they go through each other.
Back on over to Synergy once again. They have really not moved all that much this game. They've taken really a lot of time, just a few easy rotations to really good points of interest, but they're taking a fight currently with Sales that did their rotation way earlier compared to Synergy. And now we'll have to see a lot of utility, a lot of smokes coming out. But Rogs, he's going to be pushing forward with the buggy, and he's going to be jumping out into the smoke, but went a little bit too deep, and that's going to be resulting in him going down. As now Celts still have two players on their side, as I say that, make it one. It's going to be, oh no, actually still got two, there it is. The Tanky's going to be coming around the corner, didn't see him right there, but coming into the Dacia, and going against the three-man army of Synergy. Is not going really too well on the side of Celts, but still, they find back really good use of the utility on both sides.
Honestly, great play overall by Synergy. They look way more in control of this game, and look at what has happened. Big E-Tron, Red Aliens have been eliminated.
Damn, that's an L for them, but that's fine. We'll see them come around again. There it is, Ted trying to wrap around the players of Celts. I like that approach of this game, trying to be very unexpected, but Ted is also the last remaining member of Synergy on this current push right there. I mean, Schreider's still over there, but currently he's healing up, so he's not really getting too involved on this fight, so we'll see him come around the corner very soon. The blue zone is going to be upon these teams very soon. It's phase 4, shifting into phase 5 is going to tickle a little bit too much.
It really is. Now, King of Gamers Club look to might be joining in on the party, although they look to be avoiding what could be happening between those two teams, as Ted from Synergy really making a huge difference, but he gets dropped to his knees by a Tanky.
Oh my god, a Tanky gets the shutdown from the back. That is huge, but King of Gamers Club, hey, the third party comes out on top. And King of Gamers Club, they'll be the king of the north.
Yeah, it was just too much of a strong opportunity for King of Gamers. Would have heard all those shots, take the opportunity. Now, we did see on our screens the phase 5 shifted down to the southeast, so it is still a little bit of the river in play and the edge of Rozhok. So there's a lot of going on as we're down to the 8 teams, 27 players of this game. No Chance team looking to push back onto Megastars.
Mini bridge camp happening over here for No Chance. Megastars trying to make their way through. You know what? Megastars and bridges, a love story since 1996. They love crossing over them, but teams don't like it when they do indeed cross over them bridges, so they're going to try and shut down that rotation in. But Megastars, I think that here at this point, you're not really in circle. I would say just breach this compound. I think that sometimes you have to go for them aggressive plays to get a decent position. this would be one of those moments.
And when you're looking at consistency, Team No Chance had some really consistent performances yesterday. They got 7 points, 8 points, and 10 points in the first, second, and fourth game that they played. So let's see if they can continue on as Team Secret gets knocked to the floor by T1.
Team Secret, I've got to say, their position is pretty decent, but unfortunately, the amount of players still alive is not quite on point. Ice shots going to be knocked down. Hopefully, the res will come on through. But here it is, long distance spray coming up from Paran-G, but not quite able to get that one member of King of Gamers Club. King of Gamers Club, they're in a world of trouble potentially later on down the line because they have to make it through the river if it does shift even further down south. The future is very, uncertain for this team.
Yeah, definitely, because they stayed on the north side of the river for
gamble.
too long. It was a gamble and it's gone against them. The best thing they could do is basically shift onto the east. They'll go into Megastars, but they might be able to get help from a third party. No chance, so we'll see how it goes on. But King of Gamers, they are still at least inside the circle on the north of the river for now. But there's quite a good few teams on the west. You have Udo Gank, Reject, Team Secret, and T1 all still inside Roshawk.
Talking about T1, that 2-2 split in the high ground position on the eastern side of Roshawk, that is absolutely mental. We get information on the west, on the east, even in the up north on the King of Gamers Club. And I think that they definitely have the better position to potentially confirm this game. And of course, it's a Roshawk finish. We were expecting a good game from T1.
And I love the fact that you are looking in the direction of King of Gamers because you want to create that space should the circle shift up north. You want to suppress King of Gamers because they can still have a huge impact.
Oh, yeah.
If they do third-party a couple of teams from the north side of the river. But let's see if the grenade from Ice Shots can connect onto Reject. Sarah, not quite far enough.
Grenade utility could be huge as you try and fight close quarter, but you still got one team that's going to be down south. That's going to be Box Gaming. They got a little bit of distance to go, and they're going to be under the fire of T1. But here it is. The circle's going to be coming up in 3, 2, 1. There we go. The circle's going to be going straight inside of Roshawk, and that's going to be great for not only Team Secret, but also for T1, as we just mentioned prior.
Yeah, definitely good for the teams who did make their way in through Roshawk and hold onto the edge. But Team No Chance, you do still have plenty of space where they can actually go up the hill and get a potential backstab onto T1. So there's plenty for the teams on the west to play for, but Team No Chance have got to take out Megastars first. And this is where you need to start to be aggressive. We're coming into the 23-minute mark of the game. It is phase 6. It's do or die. It's now or never for the teams like No Chance.
I'm a little bit scared for Megastars. Reason why, they have to play on the edge of the water because they can get pressured by No Chance. But King of Gamers Club, they have information on Megastars, but also King of Gamers Club, they got their own issue to take care of and deal with. That's the fact that they're not in circle. They're going to have to make it through the water. But teams are also taking care of each other inside of Roshawk itself. That might be the opportunity to just snake your way through or swim your way through into Roshawk.
There's so many variables to play for because he still have 8 teams and 27 players. So he's hung around this moment for quite a while as Choconutex takes a little bit of damage, man, just stay alive, and then the rest of his team comes in. Heineken gets a knockdown onto ZZP.
Yeah, No Chance they can easily breach that because there was a 2-2 split set up by T1, but here it is also Satan taking his very one opportunity with the iron sight on the AK, but unfortunately no pressure applied on Megastars. They make it as a full squad to the compound, knocking on T1's door, and now the breach will be happening very soon, but Paradox getting shut down. Megastars under pressure of King of Gamers Club on the other side of the river, Imperium.
Third party play coming to fruition. T1 trying to hold on to basically 3 teams at this stage of the game. You have Team No Chance, Megastars, and even King of Gamers Club in the north side as Heineken rushes his way through. Gonna confirm the kill onto the member of T1.
Yeah, so if you're going to confirm all of those for themselves, No Chance. Got a decent position. I've got to say, those very aggressive repositionings were definitely worth it. They had to go for the aggressive plays, and that's going to secure themselves a decent position, taking also 2 players of T1 down, so that's 2 points for themselves. As we go over to also Team Secret, we can see their kill feed so far. That's going to be 5 kills so far for Team Secret, off to maybe their better game so far.
On a side note, even though we haven't lost any teams, we have lost 7 players, so we're down to 20 players, still 8 teams as Sarah gets a knockdown on the Drax one of a T1.
There it is. Satan slowly waiting for Megastars to come on up. Encore on Oasis 027. Waiting for the opportunity. You know what? You want to try and use their utility. Grenade's going to get cooked up. Unfortunately, not quite in the right window. And that will not get normally any impact on Satan or Missile. It's going to be seen box and also No Chance clapping into the kill feed. Still got 8 teams in such a small circle on phase 6. That is absolutely mental.
And Team No Chance have all 4 members up. They now look in the direction of Box Gaming. It's just Lewis left standing with the other 2 members of their team knocked down, and that's going to be the job done. That's going to be the squad right, and that's going to be the 9th kill for Team No Chance.
They're looking for double digits right here. No Chance putting their absolute stellar performance in the first game of the day. Hopefully that'll be the first of many. A Team Secret still not quite willing to move. We did see Phase 6 circle shift completely over to the eastern side of Rosoc. That means going to be good for both No Chance and T1. Eventually, potentially Megastars if they take away the compound of T1, which they have yet to do.
Team Secret, Reject, Udo, they're all going to be clashing together. Down goes Megastars. They go out in 7th place. 6 teams, 15 players, and T1 still holding on the north side of this circle as Udo and Team Secret clash with the grenades.
Udo, they're going to have to take this one a little bit slow, but they only got now 7 seconds before the blue zone is coming right behind them. They have to push into Team Secret. Mad Toy will be left alone, taking a potential 1v25 versus Udo. Grenade utility will come on through. Apparently he's going to try and scout him out, but losing the trade-off versus Mad Toy. Mad Toy, can he take the clutch move for himself? He's going to swiftly confirm that kill. Points are prizes in the world of PUBG. You want to get every single one you might get, but unfortunately, shut down by Goddess on the other side of the map. And there you go, that's the end for Team Secret.
I love the fact that it's Phase 7 and you can still see third partying from another building. Great play by Team No Chance. It just shows how much control they have in this game against every single other team coming in to this as Webb knocks down Drax Reject. The Japanese team still inside this game as they do look to engage onto any other team they can.
Yeah, Reject Scarlet got a lot of utility going to be surrounding them there, making that rotation towards No Chance anti-1 a little bit easier, but Yudu still Jumper just waiting for that opportunity to jump out into the open and cross over. He does have that dip a little bit that could give him some pretty decent coverage away from both No Chance and T1, but it is now Jumper slowly going to try and get involved in a kill feed. He wants to look for those kills. He's only got 1 kill so far. They need to get as many as they potentially can, because otherwise, even though they would get a decent amount of positioning points, they need kills to get higher.
It's not enough. You need more positioning points. You do now, just down to 1 player. Jumper, can he be the man of the hour? He is going to help by the play zone, hurting the member of Reject Scarlet. Just leaves Sarah left standing as Team No Chance have 3 players. T1 have 2. Let's see what happens between the remaining 4 teams as Reject go out.
5th position for Reject Scarlet, they have it, but Yudu Jumper was able to make it away. I did not expect him to make it out alive. Only took so much damage in that last trade-off, but he will indeed, and Phase 8 is going to be popping off. I can't even see it because there's so many teams. They did go a little bit down south over to the western side, which is to the advantage of No Chance.
King of Gamers Club, they've just been eliminated. They survived till the bitter end, finishing in 4th place. So the 3 teams left standing, they're broken, beaten, and scarred, but they are not ready to give up this fight as the grenades go flying. Jumper from Udo Gank, the last player standing against the Mongolian side of Team No Chance, and T1 from South Korea.
4v2v1. Jumper trying to avoid detection as much as he possibly can, but he's chucking some utility. That's going to be actually grabbing some attention, especially from T1, that I think is unwanted attention for him. And T1 now, they're going to have to be careful on their right and also up top of themselves when they decide to push, because they are currently 9 circle, which is not the case for No Chance. They just got to chill and wait. And that wall is so important in late game stage. It could be a game-changing factor.
Well, they also can't let themselves get third-partied, right? Anything can happen.
No third party.
But now Jumper goes down. Can't get eliminated. We're down to the last 2 teams, T1 and Team No Chance. Could we see Team No Chance get their first chicken dinner of the PMWL East?
If T1 get this, that would be genuine surprise. The grenade bounces away, but still Satan goes down to the grenade of Godless, and now will be turned into a 1v4 missile. Can he make things happen? That's going to be a no. T1 2nd position, and they have it. No chance. Well, they had the chance of taking the first chicken dinner of the day, and boy, oh boy, they grabbed it.
I was talking to Team No Chance in preparation of this PMW, and they said they aren't just representing Mongolia, they're representing the whole of the wildcard region, and they showed up today.
I mean, definitely they made the wildcard region guys proud. That